Paladin's newest champion, Vivian, has just been announced, and her title is the Cunning. She's a damage champion, and well, this is another champion with some quite dark themes blasting away into the realm. There was a little bit of lore teased, with the developers saying that she has connections with Torvald and Barak, especially with Torvald's technology. Also, she is a security captain of something called Deep Works, and is on the side of the Magistrate, also teased with Terminus. There are themes of an almost Orwellian nature, straight out of a hyper-surveillance state, and a colours theme all give off perhaps being on the less moral side of the realm. One of her lines is also, "They will bend the knee, or they will break," to give some context to how exactly she thinks. Looks-wise, she's almost going for that Ash look with a streak in her hair, and is kind of a more malevolent-looking Leanne. She's a humanoid to say sorry to all the people that wanted some wacky champions out there, and isn't too bombastic of a champion this time around. Diving straight into her champion and her kit, her main weapon is an LMG, which has 80 shots in the magazine, and each shot does 200 damage at the max damage range. It is fully automatic and has quite a bit of recoil and accuracy loss whilst firing. Visually, as you fire off the magazine, the crystal will slowly deplete, getting smaller and losing its glow, which once you reload has a cool animation of chucking it away, and that's got an almost M1 Grand sound too on the reload when that just ping sort of goes off. There is headshot bonus damage, which goes up to 300 at the max range, and there is also damage fall off, however that does seem to start at quite a distance and isn't too heavy. Her alternate fire and ability is an aim down sights, a lot like what Victor has, which adds accuracy and reduces the recoil. It's a pretty standard ability there. But moving on to her ability 1, this is a shield called Deflector Shield, and is a partial personal shield that covers pretty much only just in front of us, so her head and her body and some of her thighs. The downside is that it doesn't cover your shins and feet, and the shield will lower as you take damage on the front, like any other shield like Fernando's, etc. And it is big enough to slightly block enemies' fire around her, but isn't quite the frontliner we expected from the spoilers and a lot of us were speculating. And it also has quite a short duration. I actually guessed, I speculated that they might have an LMG, a machine gun, and would fire through a shield, but I thought there might be a bit at the top, but actually there's a bit of a bottom, so I almost got it with the spicy speculation this time round. The second ability is a sensor drone, and this will show enemies in an area, basically spotting enemies like a ward. It does look like a Ganessa mine, but it does have a rune in the center, and these mines will only show them to yourself but not your allies. The dev said your gun will also have some visual effects to light up when an enemy is spotted, but it doesn't seem to be working when they showed her off. And also the mine would turn red when enemies were spotted. You can only have one of them out at a time, however the distance they will show enemies is relatively far. Finally, on the big bada boom, her ultimate, she asks, "Have you met my friends?" and 2 drones will float around you. And these both count as deployables and are destructible, and whilst hovering over you they will fire 500 damage a second between them, or 250 damage each. And these have AoE blasts that basically go around where you fire, and these aren't based on the damage drop off of your normal weapon. Basically they'll just be based off of the distance away from your fire the enemies are. The massive thing about this ultimate is it has no timer. There's no limit to this ultimate. It will only end either when you die or if the enemy destroys the drones, and they do seem actually to be a little bit tanky and relatively hard to hit, as there are 2 little things floating around you quite a lot of the time. Anyway, that was what we were shown this time round, and whilst not everything was shown today in a lot of detail, and I'll be streaming it live as soon as the public test server goes up, so it will be hopefully later, if not tomorrow morning, I'm just going to give some of my thoughts. So she is another more slightly vanilla character coming into the realm, but remember, vanilla is still a flavour that's actually widely loved, and I think actually it's the most popular flavour of ice cream. She does focus on damage and sustained fire along with suppression, plus with a personal shield she has a bit more ability to sustain at range whilst not being picked off by other backline damage dealers, and it also adds an interesting dynamic for enemies and specifically flankers to get behind her while she's unloading crystal lead down range. But with the sensor drones being almost your replacement for an escape, and being able to see enemies and coming and to be able to react to them, I worry she'll largely be shelved in competitive play with Tyra, who doesn't have an explicit escape or movement ability. Also, the devs did say that the drones, the sort of sensor drones, were quite hard to take out. But the thing is, if you're a good player, you're going to be looking around all the time trying to spot where you've been spotted from. It doesn't have an effect, a visual effect like the Ganessa mines, which are easy to spot because they have like a line coming out of them to the little mine, so you know where exactly they are, but I wonder whether they'll just be taken out pretty quickly. This champion is another option and twist on Victor, Tyra, and Ruckus, and can be interesting in filling their sort of roles in the game. Plus, she has a rather strong ultimate, which can have a lasting effect, and the drones weren't shown to be that easily destroyed either, so if you can keep them up most of the time and out of direct trouble, you could be really, really effective with the amount of damage you can put out, especially if you aren't being pushed or pressured too much by enemy flankers. So in conclusion, I love the theme coming with Vivian. It's very dark and gives us more hints at the structure of the Paladins realm and the lore coming in the future. The Magistrate do seem to be rather an unscrupulous sort of empire in reviving fallen warriors to fight for them against their will like Terminus, and now we've been exposed to the dark underbelly of Secret Service exposed in Vivian. Be sure to let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Will she find a place in the meta? Are you looking forward to playing her? Be sure to let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Joshino.